welcome back, guys, to the Dual Hemisphere Hangout. I'm one of your hosts, Luke, and once again, just thanks again for joining us today. And I hope you guys are enjoying it. This episode specifically, I believe we're going to be talking about our respective moves to our new homes and what life is like. But I'll go ahead and introduce my co-host, Jake. Go ahead and take it away, man.
Hello, everyone. We are back. We're back for episode
We
2. You
are.
thought it was going to be a one-shot wonder. No.
It's gonna
as
be
with many
two.
of my, as with many of my projects, one and done. You know, get a really good
Not this one.
idea, and then it's
Not
like
this
one
one.
and done.
Don't worry, I'm gonna hold you accountable, Jake.
But yeah, as Luke said, we've got just a topic for this episode, which is just generic moving around the planet. Finding somewhere to reside is
Mhm.
sometimes harder than what we usually expect. And then if
Yeah.
we branch off into other things, I have got a little bit of a funny story that I can
Woo.
tell towards the end, but I'll save that for.
Let's
We'll get
go.
all the boring stuff out the way
We'll
first. It's not boring, but it's
get the boring stuff.
gotta save the
I
fun bits
mean,
to last.
exactly. You got to keep the listeners engaged to the very end. So if you guys want to know, don't skip ahead. Trust me, it's gonna be funny throughout, but hang around to the end so you guys can get the juicy, fun stuff. But I mean, yeah, I mean, honestly, like you just kind of hit the nail on the head. Like moving, right? Like it is one of those things that people do a lot of, and I guess for me and you, respectively, we both recently made pretty big moves. I mean, for you, you made a way bigger move than I did. You traveled about four different continents the other direction. I mean, I went about south about 5 states. But I mean, honestly, when did you? So I can kind of start. So for you, Jake, when did you decide that it was time to move? And what was the initial process starting like for you? Because considering you're jumping countries, and I know there's a whole lot of visa stuff going on. So what does that process look like? And how did you get to the point where you're at? Like, all right, we're moving. It's in motion. We're going.
Um, so I suppose it all started when I came down on holiday back in 2013. God,
Okay.
that's like over 10, it's 11 years ago.
11 years. Yeah. We're
um,
old.
so yeah, it all started in like, and then like you get the feel of like the area and the place. It's like, yeah, this I quite like to live here. This seems pretty cool. Given the temperate climate in Perth is very nice. We're currently sitting at a whopping 16 degrees centigrade at the moment, but it's going to reach 20, which is perfect. Not too hot, not too cold. Um, but yeah, I was like, oh well, I want to live there. And then you set the ball rolling but I think I was about what, maybe 16, 17. I can't remember the age that I was actually here. Not old enough to even attempt to move by myself. I wouldn't even bothered. And then it got to I moved to Manchester from Huddersfield to move closer to work, and then I don't know, the UK just wasn't doing it for me. Like the housing situation is always rubbish. You can't. I think anywhere in the world at the moment, our generation is struggling to save to buy houses. We're stuck in the rent trap.
Oh
Um,
yeah, big time.
yeah, it's a bit brutal given inflationary prices and CPI indexes,
Yes.
but no one used to hear about all that crap.
No one is. So you mentioned
um,
you moved from Huddersfield, Manchester to Huddersfield, correct? Or Huddersfield to
other
Manchester?
way, Huddersfield to
Okay.
Manchester, which is approximately
How?
30 minutes down the road.
Okay, so it was like a little. So that's like my first initial move from my mom's house to Norfolk. Like it was about 30
Yeah,
minutes away. I put everything in my truck and just drove. Like it was just a normal thing. Okay, I was curious because I know England's obviously about the same size as like a normal state here in the United States. So I'm like, how far?
yeah.
How far? Like again, moving regardless of how far you go is still a hassle. But obviously big moves are a lot more different. But yeah, I was just curious if you had any
Um,
experience beforehand of moving
oh
long
yeah, yeah.
long
So we've
distances.
moved twice.
Okay.
In 2 years. So we spent in the first house we spent 3 years. Um,
Okay.
or coming up to 3 years, and then in the Didsbury house where we used to live, we spent about a year and a half. and then broke contract early to come here. Now you asked about all the visa stuff. That is another beast in itself. I've got some family and some friends looking at wanting to move down here because they've seen me do it. They don't realize how hard it actually is. It's they make it unbelievably difficult. So for someone like me, I believe I had an appealing job. I was on the long term shortage list, so that basically they've got a list of occupations where they're saying you can apply for permanent citizenship or permanent residency because we need you because we Australia as a population is tiny
Yeah.
as a population number, so they need to bring people in um, to supplement the workforce. So I work in stem cell laboratory. They literally like
Okay.
it's a very niche area, and trying to find people to hire is almost impossible. So I got
Okay.
really lucky in that regard. Um, so I'm on the long term list. Some people, my friends, aren't even on any list, so you can't even apply. You can't
Okay.
even start applying. It's like if you're not on the list, don't even bother.
So
Um,
you can't like. So let me try to get this straight. So you can't just be like, hey, I want to go move to Australia. You need like a work visa or some type of visa saying,
yeah,
this is
even if
why
you
I'm
come on
coming
holiday, you need a
here.
holiday visa.
Can I come? Can I come? And they already like, oh, you're like you said, you have your specific job. I'm like, yes, we need you because of XYZ versus Joe down the street who just wants to hang out with the kangaroos. Might as well just get a holiday visa because he ain't coming down.
Yeah,
Basically.
I mean you can get like temporary working visas,
Okay.
but you're not gonna be working in a permanent job. You're gonna be doing like a lot of fruit picking or
Okay.
bartending. I'm not going to call them lower down jobs, but not permanent jobs. Not your.
Yeah.
I mean, some people might. I mean, I've seen some pro bartenders, like
Yeah.
proper pro bartenders. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
That's a profession, but no, not your casual Billy Joe. Can I pour you a pint? Um,
Yeah.
uh, so once you get past that stage, it's then right. Put the balls in motion. Right. What do we need to do? So I had to go get my degree assessed. That cost me about 500 Great British pounds, so about $650 US. Um, either to get points for my education because they wouldn't accept UK education as um, comparable, even though they exactly are. Like university students can exchange between, but you
Yeah.
know, it is what it is. I got a lot of points for my age because I'm
Okay.
prime working age. So 25 to 30, I believe, is the point. You get 25 points. So it's all on a point system. Then I got 15 points for my degree in education, which puts me up to what's that? So 25, 30, 40 points. Usually you need around 100.
Yeah.
I got very, very lucky. I
Yeah.
came in at, I think for you to be able to apply, I think you need 65 as a minimum.
Okay.
They will allow you to put your application in. You're probably never going to get your application approved at 65
Yeah.
points. So I had to go do some top up stuff. I had to do an English test to prove that
Okay.
I'm fluent in English. Born in England.
Oh my
Luckily,
gosh.
aced that. That gave me 20 points. So that put me up to like
Hey.
60. And then I picked up a couple from other various areas, such as
Okay.
like I've been in work for over 5 years in skilled work. That gave me like another 10. And then Rach coming down with me is she's also skilled. That gave me another 5. So I think with all the gear involved, I ended up at about 85, 90 points. Um,
Okay.
so still short of what they usually ask for, but
That's still like an A over here in
yeah,
America.
yeah. So
90.
I got approved. The whole process took about 2.5 years, and I
Yeah.
got on my I did hire a migration agent to do it for me. So
Okay.
that cost me a bomb. All in all, I reckon I spent about the visa itself was about £4,000 for me and Rich. So that's when you get to apply, they bill you big.
Yeah.
I think all in all about £8,000 in total, so 10,000 US dollars. just to move,
Just to
just to get the rights to move, just for the
yeah.
bit of paper that says you're allowed to come.
Yeah, I remember yeah, I remember like when we would have like our like just random chats like when we weren't doing anything and you were mentioning like how it was like the process of move and all that stuff and it just seemed like I had it because I knew you were doing it because it was always like, hey, I'm moving to Australia about 2 or so years. Like I'm waiting for these things to go ahead and get all processed. And it's yeah, it's crazy to think that like and I'm pretty sure the same thing applies for literally anything in America. Like, I'm gonna be real. I'm not very well versed on visas and like moving countries and stuff like that. But I do know for a fact that it sounds like a lot of headache, and the fact that you gotta put 8,000 British pounds that way, which is about 10K a US, definitely not great.
It's
That's
a
a lot.
deterrent.
Just
It's a deterrent.
yeah, I
But
would
there
not
are
pay
other like
10K to move. Yeah, that's
there are other
crazy.
costs involved that people don't
Yeah.
expect. Like I don't know if you have it over in the US. Like you have to get documents certified
Yes.
by a
Yeah.
notary, so you have
Yep.
to get the notary to do it. Oh my god, that cost me a fortune. I think it was we
Really.
had two statutory declarations where I needed to sign about 14, 15 pages each. The cheapest one in Manchester that I could get, like in a reasonable time frame, we're talking like a month, and I they needed these documents now, and he charged what was it, 250, £300. I was with him for
So
15 minutes.
so that's wild because again, for me specifically, you can become a notary pretty easily here in the states, and I just know a notary, and they just no
Oh
payment,
no,
just
over here it has you're
I
almost
guess
like a
this
lawyer.
yeah,
So
I guess
law
that's a little
firms
I
will
guess it's a
have a
little
notary.
Yeah, I guess it's a little bit different. Yeah, because we like you would do like for us, we had I was a notary. Like I was a notary for my previous employment. I had a little stamp that said Luke Justice notary da 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 da. Click. It's probably not the same thing. It's probably a different terminology. Like it's the same terminology, but it's probably have
Yeah, so
different
like me being a
respects.
registered
Yeah.
health professional in the UK, I could sign off to say like for passports and stuff if people were applying for
Yeah.
identification, it's like I agree that this is um the right person and the right like
Okay.
everything matches. But yeah, it when it comes to visa purposes and migration stuff, they just get you
Yeah.
big.
And that's
They
probably
need
yeah.
it like legally done. So yeah, there's loads of associated costs. So
Mhm.
that aside, come I think it was September 2022 when I got my visa approval. Um,
Okay.
and then they give you once you get your visa approved, they give you a year. So you have
Okay.
a year to cross the border. It's effectively like activating a bank card. Like you have to
Okay.
put your bank card in and you put your pin in first, and then you can use all the contactless happy dappy pin. It works. So we planned a holiday. We came here. We traveled. We did Perth. We did Sydney and um, the Gold Coast all the way
Okay.
up. Um, that was really fun. And then we came back. But before that, I effectively I just went on Seek, which is the Australian job site, and I found a job. I applied. They told me I had it, and then panic stations started occurring. Because at that point, like I, you're not going to move without a job. I'm not that type of person. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Yeah.
Like those people that save up and just go, and then you never see them again. It's like bye.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
uh, so I landed the job, and then I had about 3 months to move all my stuff, which was not good. Not good. Like the shipping fees, Luke. The shipping fees.
You did shipping through boat, right? Through like
Boat
actual
and air.
shipping, boat and air. So did
Yeah,
okay,
the boat
so
stuff still isn't here.
oh my gosh, it's still not here. When is it gonna get
No,
here? You've been here. You've been
it
here
was
for
estimated for it was estimated 2 weeks ago.
okay. Good lord. It's like you've been
um,
here for 5 months.
yeah.
What do you mean? What okay,
uh,
question. What's on the boat?
so non-essential stuff. So we've got like kitchenware
Okay.
stuff that
Okay.
would save us a bit of money. We air shipped the essentials, the
Okay.
PlayStation, the PC, the
Yeah,
that took 14 days. No, 10 days.
yeah. Okay.
10 days. Um,
Which is more? I'm assuming air is obviously more expensive because it's quicker than ship.
yeah, well, like
Okay.
5 times more expensive.
Okay.
So yeah, we spent about 2,000 British pounds shipping 10 boxes.
Hell my.
They're a bit heavy, so it goes more off weight than it did off
Yeah. Okay. That makes more sense then, I guess.
actual volume size.
Yeah. It's the
Um,
same as postal service here. You
yeah,
pay a lot of money for certain packages that weigh a lot to get shipped a specific amount. Yeah. Okay.
so yeah, I had like PlayStation 5, PC, coffee machine.
The stuff you
It's
need,
like
the
we
stuff
didn't
that
know
you
if that
didn't
coffee
want to go
machine
out
was going to
there.
be, yeah. And then I did cram a lot of stuff in my suitcase. I barely took any clothes. Like my suitcase was like light bulbs because we have the Philips Hue light bulbs, so it's they
Yes.
cost a lot of money. So
I'm just, like Jake's on the airplane. He's like, "We got to pack the fucking light bulbs. You don't understand. It's the light bulbs. The
I need
hue,
my
the
lighting, man.
hue."
Ain't no way I'm putting the light on, the big light on. It gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Hey, listen. If you got any spare hues, let me know because I'm a little dark right now.
um,
That's
all
funny.
in all, yeah. So
Yeah.
we're talking maybe a 3 year process, but the last three
Okay.
months were awful,
Yeah.
awful. Trying to break lease early on my rental um, in Manchester was brutal. Then having to ship everything I have over, and then living out of my mum's house for a week and a half for the last week in work. Oh, I did not envy that commute, getting up at 7 a.m. every morning. And then, fun story. I
Okay.
finished work on the Friday in the UK. I started work in Australia on the Monday,
Oh my god.
the following Monday.
You're
I
like, all right.
flew on the Saturday, landed on Sunday night at 10 p.m., went to bed, and got up for work at 7 a.m. on Monday in
Oh my
Australia.
goodness. All right. So I'm assuming did you leave your vehicles over in England?
Sold them all. Yeah, that was
Sold them
another.
all.
That was rough as
Yeah.
well. I
Yeah. I knew you
sold
were
it the day
talking
before
about
I
selling your
left.
vehicles. Okay. And so you guys mainly are using. I'm assuming the transit is a big thing here, like the
Oh, the
buses and.
trains are perfect here, but yeah, we bought
Okay.
Suzuki Jimny. It's great.
Okay.
Oh, they
You
look
really?
fantastic. It's a little
Okay.
box vehicle. I'll see if I can pull one up for you.
Okay. Please do. I'm just curious
So
because
for
I
people
was like,
listening, the Suzuki Jimny has it made a resurgence. They did a new model in 2023.
I don't think they have. I don't think I've seen a Suzuki in like America and like in here and ever.
So
Like I mean, not ever, but okay.
look at it.
Look
It's
at
a little.
it's
It looks
it's like
like
it
it's a
looks like a
mini G wag.
small. Yeah, it looks like a small like a G wag or like a little like Land Rover. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, it's
no,
tiny,
okay.
Luke. It's
It
tiny.
looks it
Imagine.
looks sm- it looks small. It looks like a little like wait, hold on, time. Pause.
Yeah, look there. That's some people for scale.
Oh
It's a
my
tiny
god.
little car.
I mean, I guess
Um,
that's. I mean, do you guys? Is there like the distance to like drive is like not far at all? Like I'm assuming like you guys don't need that. Like it's not
no,
a
we don't use it a
necessity.
lot.
Okay.
The Perth transport system is insanely good. Probably
Okay.
like
Good.
one of the best train systems I've never been to Japan or
Yeah.
China, so I know they have like bullet trains and they're there every 5 minutes, but like every 10 minutes there's a train
Okay.
between 5 a.m. and 9 p.m.
Okay.
Going in all directions. So there's no like fork off stops like in the UK, so you might miss a couple of stops. Every train stops at every stop, and they've just got
Oh,
like
okay.
5 lines that go out of the city center.
Okay. Oh, that's
Um,
always good. That's always good to have a good transport system. I mean, here, we don't public trans. I mean, we have buses and we have some trains. So public, like the transport system, is pretty much non-existent. At least here in Florida, like it all just depends. Again, it all just depends in America where you're at. Like New York, DC, they have monorails, and like parts of California, they've got the train systems and stuff like that. But yeah, we are very vehicle dependent in America.
I
Like
found that
there's like
when I went on holiday, bro. It was
yeah, very, very vehicle to yeah. The public trans like again, the public transport system is as booty. It's just not as a it's hit or miss where you go because it's not a necessity unless you live in a very packed city like LA,
yeah,
New York
New York.
City, DC, like anything like really packed. Like that's about it. But like and I think Chicago is probably another good example. But everything else, it's cars everywhere or rideshare. That's about it.
Um,
Are those scooters? The scooters are really big now. Those little like Lime scooters. You tap your phone and you get like specific like you get like specific miles. Like you put $5 out, you get to ride it for 6 miles or something like that.
yeah. So and then where were we up to? So yeah, we moved here. All of our stuff is here, and then I get a lovely email this week.
Oh my goodness.
The drama doesn't stop in my life, Luke.
No.
So we are renting this place. We've only been here, like Luke says, a couple
I think
bit under half a year.
I- yeah.
Um, I get the lovely email from the rental company saying, "Yep, your landlord has decided to sell."
No. Oh, come.
Um, Luckily, in Perth, there is a
Ah,
lot of investors, and we're
yes.
hoping that an investor comes in and buys and keeps us in the house. But saving grace is we took a year contract, so we don't have to move until April. Um, I would prefer not to move at all. I've done
Yes.
enough moving. I was hoping to stay here until we bought a house.
Yes.
But no, the world has another hurdle for Jake.
I
It's
mean,
just
I guess
never
that
ending, man. It's just never
yeah.
ending.
Yeah, I mean, the way the housing market is across the country, in America, let alone like from what you're saying in England to what's going on in Australia as well. It's just not it's not profitable. So I honestly think if like they do sell, they're probably will keep you guys there because unless they're planning for someone to buy a house, and it sounds like the people who are moving to Perth in Australia are people who probably just can't afford because the move is like crazy expensive already.
Yeah. Like
I
the
think
housing market at the moment is
ideally,
just probably it's
I
just
think unless it gives a complete turnaround within a year, I not maybe I'm just wishful thinking, but maybe they'll. I think a smart business wise, they will keep you in there. They'll buy it so they have money coming in already.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like if I'm buying something and I'm like, oh, these guys are giving me however X amount of money you guys pay for your rent every single month. I'm like, wait, I'm already getting like an extra 1,500 to $2,000 a month. Bet, love it. I'll take that.
Yeah, I can't see any I think it's very unlikely that in the place that we live that
Yeah.
a family would come in and buy and want to live here. It's very distant from the city in comparison to um other places where the market is much more favorable for first time buyers or family homes. Um, we to put it into perspective, we used to be the last stop on the train line before they expanded it about 3 weeks ago. So like
Okay.
we are very far out. Um, it's prime investment area because people want to buy houses up here. So people like me will rent out when I come over and then spend two
Yeah.
years and then you get another bit of rental. So yeah, we'll see, I guess.
Yeah.
They came
Positive
around and took
outlook, man.
photos this week. We've got viewings next weekend and the weekend after, and then I believe it will be sold by then. Given the
Okay.
market, they don't stay on for long.
Yeah. No.
Um,
Yeah.
and
Anything.
especially, I
Anything.
think like any buyer would be put off because they can't kick us out until April.
Yes.
So, like, if you're buying a house, are you actually going to wait until next April to move in?
Yeah. The only thing they could probably do is if they really wanted to have you guys out, they'd probably offer you an X amount of money to
Yeah, they'd have to
relocate.
pay us out.
Yeah, they'd have to pay your
Um,
rent out, and your lease
which,
out. So
hey, I'm a
hey,
stickler for money. You want
there
it? If
you
you put a
go.
price tag on it, I'm gonna slap a high one on it. But if you want me out, I'll do it.
I'll do it.
We're
Fair
talking,
enough,
like
man.
just the small like 50K mark, I guess.
They're like, what does this man want 50K? That doesn't sound about right. And you're like, if you had to do what I had to do to get here.
Yeah, just I mean, just just a small deposit on a house that I could buy. I'll get out if you could pay me my deposit to get out.
There you go. Beautiful.
But yeah, like, so my move has taken all of 25 minutes to discuss. I imagine yours might not take that long.
No,
But yours came with some
yeah.
bumps on the road as well.
Yeah, so I guess let's paint a little picture. So this move to Florida was so quick. Like it was not it's not even a joke. So it was I think third week of April. I got a phone call from my director saying that, Kira, she's like, yeah, so Kira's getting promoted out. She's going to be able to go ahead and open up an office and in Tallahassee, Florida. I was like, oh, sweet. And they're like, I was like, when does that happen? He's like, Friday. I'm like, what? And so from there, I was like, okay, because the whole goal, like, in this and all this was like, Kira was always going to be go and be the director and run the business, and she pretty much taught me everything I know, and I've kind of been like her right hand in the business for a while now. So obviously, she asked me, and the plan was to do this eventually. Like the whole plan to even get that was like our goal was like by the end of this year we want it to be on our way to for her to be opening up an office. And so we just did not expect it to happen so quick. So we just there was an opening in Tallahassee. They put in Kira's name in the bucket, and the higher ups were like, "Yes, let's do it." And so I got a call, and then Kira called me, and she's like, "Yeah, so we're gonna go to Alexandria for 2 weeks. I'm gonna do some like last minute training. You're gonna do some training, and then we're gonna be in Florida." And so we went up and did our training. And then 2 weeks went by, and me and her hopped in our cars, drove 14 hours down to Tallahassee, and we lived the Airbnb life for about a month and some change. So that was probably the least one. So I mean, I literally like this is what I had in my car. I had a suitcase of clothes, like just literally like a week's worth of clothes, underwear, stuff like that. My Nintendo Switch, my air fryer,
The
and
air
that's
fryer.
and and that's really about it for that month. And so me and her lived out of her like suitcase for about a month or so. And while we were applying for different apartments and stuff like that, the one great thing about Tallahassee is it's not super expensive. So everything here, I think back home is a little bit different for me because I knew someone that rented out to us. I was like, I never properly ever had to file out an application, never put any money down. It literally was my best friend at the time called me up. He's like, hey, you want to move in together? I was like, sure. It's like, I know someone. I was like, all right, never signed a piece of paper. Nothing. My rent was this amount. Didn't go for 7 years that I was there.
It's good.
They were just an old family friend couple. They didn't do anything like they didn't really fix the house at all. Like if there was an issue, we would tell them and they would come fix it. But it was never like a thing where they're like, "Oh, it's COVID happened, your rent's gonna go up" or anything like that. No, it stayed the flat fee. But yeah, rent's really cheap here, and so we ended up finding a place, and that's when the nightmare started. so so the way our business works is basically at this point where we're at is if me and or Kira are not in the office, the stops. And in this business, we cannot really afford to like have it stop. So the only times we can do stuff is on the weekends. So we moved into our place June 14th. We slept on the floor the first night. We got in a car, drove to Jacksonville, took a flight to Virginia. I rented a U-Haul, $900, mind you, for this U-Haul. 900. um, Grabbed the U-Haul, drove to Kira's house. We packed up her stuff. That took a lot longer than I expected. I did not expect it to.
Always.
I mean, well, the
Always.
thing is, it's like you think of it, you think like, oh, a room's not going to be like a lot, right? And like she had packed up before, there's a lot of boxes already in there. But the family's there, we're kind of winding down. People are saying goodbye and stuff like that. And so We got to Virginia around 1 o'clock. Got the U-Haul around 2. I went to her house, grabbed her stuff. We were there till about 7, 8 o'clock. Then I had to drive to my house, pack up my stuff. Luckily I had like packed my room up pretty nicely before I left to go do training in Alexandria for 2 weeks. And then apparently, I guess I didn't pack enough because I was still packing till like 1 in the morning. And it was to the point, Jake, I shit you not. I was just throwing shit in the U-Haul. Like all of Kira's stuff was nicely and tucked away really nicely. I was just chucking my shit up. I'm like, just get in there, dude. And I wrapped up around 1:30, 2 o'clock. Gave my roommate at the time a big hug. He's one of my best friends. Love you, Asa. And went to sleep for 3 hours. Got up at 5:30. Got in the U-Haul. Went to go pick up Kira, and then drove 15 hours back to Florida. Mind you, this is still all in the same weekend. I've only been in Virginia for 12 hours. um, Come to Florida. We get back. It's like around 10 o'clock at night. I literally unpacked the U-Haul like in one night. Like I grab everything out. Like Kira's amazing. She helped unpack all the boxes and all that amazing stuff. Well, I just was the man and just carried everything upstairs. And we pretty much unpacked it all like 2:30 in the morning, 3 o'clock. Woke up and then went to work. And it was a madness. And I mean, honestly, the one thing I will always say is don't do what I did. Don't ever do that. It definitely was very rushed, and it definitely should have been planned out a lot better. Just because you don't even know like half the stuff you have to buy for a house. Like there's still things that like our corner of our living room does like it's the dining room. It's just empty. It's got some boxes still there. We actually don't even have a freaking couch yet because we just have the time to like buy a couch and rent a truck to put the couch in the house. So we have some very nice chairs that do the job. And so it's just like one of those things where like you just don't really realize how much really goes into moving, whether it's a big move like Jake's to across the country or just a 12-hour drive, which in America is a pretty big move. Like Virginia to Florida is a pretty big move, but it's very similar to my mom's move. So my mom moved to New York from Virginia um about 2 years ago, but she did all that in like 3 weeks. It was nice. We packed up the house. It was all
Um,
really nice, calm, sentimental. Mine was like, we gotta go. I got work. I got work in a day. We got a jet. And so, but again, we are all settled, and it's been again, we've been here in Florida for about since May, so going on about 5 months now. Been in our apartment for about four. And I mean, it's again, I'm glad it's over. And just like you, I'm not doing a big move like this for a foreseeable future. I can tell you right now, if our lease ends and we want to move like house to somewhere in Tallahassee or somewhere like an hour away, cool. But like I'm not moving for a long time unless I have to.
yes, I mean, I'm really hoping that I don't have to, because like listening to your story
Yeah.
then just gave me like horror flashbacks of when
Yeah.
we were packing up for the shipment. Same position. Didn't realize how much stuff you actually have until you see it. Oh my god, I was coming home from work at 5 p.m. and we were eating and then packing from like 6 p.m. till 2 3 a.m. 7 nights on the trot.
Yeah.
And then I swear I've like damaged my back by picking up all the boxes and having to weigh all the boxes because it
Yeah.
can't be over a certain amount. Then you're having to like rip stuff out, like, and then clearing everything as well. All the furniture had to go to like my mum's house or somewhere
Hmm.
else where someone had purchased it. Oh, yeah,
Yeah, it,
it,
it it was a lot. Like I can imagine you doing it. I mean, I did it by myself. I mean, like I said, like Kira did a great job packing her stuff up and like helping move some of the smaller boxes. But like I was hurting for about 2 weeks, man. Like my back, like I dragged my queen size mattress up to the second floor, and mattresses aren't meant to be dragged. It was just more like I just brute strength it. I'm like, all right. I've always wanted to be a super saiyan. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna go full Goku. I'm gonna go full Goku. At this point, I was trash talking this matches. I'm like, you piece of shit. We're getting up these fucking steps. Fuck you. Like, and I mean, it was a great time. I mean, I'm look back on it now, like kind of just laughing at the whole thing. But I mean, I personally wouldn't change it. I'm actually very happy where I'm at right now, and despite the difficulties of the move, it definitely was one of those things where like now I've done it. And so the next time that I do have to move, I'm going to be very well prepared. I'm going to know how much a U-Haul costs beforehand. I'm going to know what I have, what I can keep, what I'm not going to keep. And hopefully not have to do it all in less than 48 hours.
I've told Rich we are paying for removal services next time round. I am not
Yes.
doing it by myself anymore. I am going to pay someone to pick up all my stuff, put it in the back of a van, and then put it back together in the new house. I want to walk in, all my stuff's already sorted. Like,
Let's go.
I'm sick of it. I am sick.
Let's go.
I am
Let's
sick of
go.
it. But, I mean, we're, like you said, we're both here. We're
Yeah.
both happy, chilling. Like,
Oh yeah.
gotta be. We're lucky we've got a house over our head.
Exactly. We are, and yeah, the beautiful thing is like we are very fortunate that we do that because there are a lot of people who fortunately aren't even in the financial position to rent a house or to have a house over their heads. And so, we are extremely fortunate to be among those people that are able to do it. And, it's just one of those things where it's a blessing and I'm forever thankful that, my job gave me this opportunity to do this. That I have an awesome person named Kira that was very supportive when we decided to move and do all this. And, it just wouldn't have happened without it. So, I'm happy and it's exciting. So let's go.
I believe we've hit the halfway point. So, it's mini game
Ooh!
time. So, I quickly threw together a tier list ranking system.
Ooh!
Given that
All
Luke
right.
has moved all the way to Florida and I've moved all the way to Perth, for the listening viewers, we'll try to be as good as we can in terms of describing what's
Yes.
on screen. But for people who are watching, we have the tier list.
Ah!
So
It's
I've
beautiful.
collated some animals, some native
Okay.
animals to Florida and I was going to say the UK. That would have been a boring one. And Perth. Turns out Florida is absolutely wild. When I was looking at some, like, you could see the first few up until this whale is Australia,
Yes.
and then so I'll read them out. We've got a quokka,
Yes.
which is
Okay.
everyone loves the quokkas. Marsupials only found pretty much only on Rottnest Island off the coast of WA.
Okay.
Really, really, really friendly. Yeah, I've been to Rottnest Island. You sit there, you take photos with them. Like they'll come up to you and like pass you leaves. Really cool. We've got a bandicoot. Everyone knows Crash
Oh.
Bandicoot, but don't know what they actually look like.
Yeah, he's not wearing pants.
Obviously, a kangaroo.
Ah,
This one's called like an It begins with an E, but I know it as a porcupine.
okay.
We've got a bottlenose lizard, which is like a really like
Mm,
quite big actually. I'd say like a forearm
yeah.
sized lizard.
Okay.
We've got this bluebird. I've forgotten what this one's called. Let's see if I can get the name up. Can't remember what it is. And then we've got a capybara and a whale shark.
Yes, the good old capybaras.
And then in Florida, we've got a manatee. Because who doesn't love manatees? Puma,
Everyone loves the manatees.
a brown bear, an alligator, a beaver, a flamingo, a blue crab, and a Burmese python.
Okay. So there's only one animal that's kind of missing, and
Go on.
that would be a jaguar, a jaguar,
We can say the
because they
Puma's a
are.
jaguar.
Yeah, we can say that. I was just like, wait, we're missing one thing. There's a reason why it's
So-
called the Jacksonville Jaguars. They are real and they are scary.
So yeah, Florida's completely wild in comparison. Like,
Yeah.
I think Australia's just a little small things that will kill you. I could have put loads of spiders on this, but like, how many
Yes.
spiders can you? So first up, what stands out as an S tier mon, Luke? Like mon?
Uh,
I'm speaking in Pokemon. S tier, S tier
an S
animal.
an S tier mall. Or honestly, for me, I mean, obviously you have to go. See, I don't want to be like overrated, but you have to like go kangaroo. Like
Kangaroo S.
I think
Just
I see like
iconic.
it's iconic. Yeah. When you think of Australia, I think of Kangaroo Jack and I think of those stupid little things and they're fighting. Like I watched a video the other day of a kangaroo drowning a dog, and this guy had to box the kangaroo to save his dog. Like, I can't think of anything
I've
more
seen that
Australia.
video. I've seen
Yes,
that
I can't
video.
think of anything more Australia and like signifying the country of Australia to just a tourist perspective than a kangaroo. Now, my question to you, Jake, is: have you seen a kangaroo yet since you've been there, like in person?
Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
goodness.
Um, I think I wish I could pull up the graphic because
Yeah.
I think there's only two places um, in Australia where humans outnumber kangaroos, and it's
Okay.
Tasmania and somewhere down south. Um, in WA, the kangaroos outnumber people by 3 to 1.
Okay.
When you're
Oh
driving
my
down the
goodness.
roads, you'll see signs say "Watch out, kangaroos" because people will just hit them.
If we have like deer signs, you guys have kangaroos.
I
Yeah, that's a
mean,
big one for me that stands out. Yeah.
if I had to pick one from Florida that's like S tier, um, I'm going with the manatee, man. Look at that!
Yeah.
Look at that! Look at that boy! That big blubbery nose, like
Yes, dude,
iconic.
manatees are so cool. I personally, so where we I do you there's an area where there are manatees around here, like not like you have to drive a little bit. There's not no manatees in Tallahassee. There's a little bit further south near the border where you can actually go like touch the manatees and stuff like that. But yes, they are just the most lovable, cute creatures. I remember I saw one at SeaWorld one time, and guys, just so you know, SeaWorld is a terrible place. It's not great for the animals. But I was 10. I didn't know any better. But yeah, I got to pet a manatee, and it was the coolest experience ever, and I want to do it again.
um, I'm gonna put Quokka. It's gonna be a controversial
Okay.
take. This solid B tier. Now, the
Okay.
only reason why people come to Australia sometimes is for these. Um,
Yes.
I
I
saw
think
it,
there's
and then it was like I kind of because there were so many of them. I was like, okay,
yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Um, like it just looks like a slightly
They're
bigger
there.
mouse to me.
Yeah. That's I mean, there he is. Like I guess like for you for that for us is like just your squirrel. You know, you
And
got
then
squirrels.
if anyone comments underneath, you're gonna get so much rage, Luke. What do you mean the Quokkas are the pure S tier?
Listen, I don't know anything. Like I know a little thing a bit about the Quackers, but again, like Jake saying, I guess I would assume if you just again you just see them all the time. Like to me, they're just part of life. So I'm like the coolness factor of it. I guess for I guess being an Aussie is the fact like they're squirrels, and I'm
Yeah.
sorry if you're offended by that, but that's the case. Go asking all. We have a man who lives there, and he literally said, like they're not mid, but like they're all right. Like he knows.
Go on then, your
I
pick, Luke.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and just throw the brown bear into D tier because like just because there are bears everywhere, dude. Like it's not like a Florida thing, bro. There are bears in Virginia. There's bears in Carolina. There's bears everywhere. Like it is not like oh my god. It's just if I were to see a bear, I'd be like all right, there's a bear. Um, like it's just not. It's not a Florida thing. Now, are bears cool? Yeah, if you gave me a grizzly bear, but not a silly brown bear. Like it's
I
just a,
thought
it's just a
these are the ones that like raid your house, right? Like they can
yeah.
smell
These are the
your
ones that like,
food.
these are the ones that come up to your house and they're not destructive. They just you'll probably see a TikTok of someone feeding the brown bear off their back porch. Like they're just there. Like I won't want to see one in the wild, but if I see one in the room, I'm like, oh, there's a bear. Call animal control, I guess. I don't know. I've seen a lot of bears. I'm just never been like one who's been like, oh, it's a bear. But don't let my mother know this because my mother would freak out because I just remember going camping and we would hide our like we could not have you could not have your food in your tent because if a bear wanted the food, it would go in your tent and kill you to get the food.
Just
So you
wake
would
up
have to like you would
spooning a
have to
bear.
tie you would have to tie you would have to tie your food up in a tree or like leave it far away from the campsite so it would not like attract the bears. But they're bears. I don't know. They're kind of they're just
I'm
get them
gonna
out of
I'm gonna I'm gonna pick one from Florida.
here. Okay.
Beaver, A tier. Fucking pure A tier. Like you can't tell me beavers are not cool, man.
Okay. Okay. First of all, they are very cool. Again, I think the problem that I'm having with these things is while these animals are native to Florida, and to you, they're like the coolest thing in the like they're just beavers, man. Like they're cool, but like they're all over. Again, they're the same thing. They're all over the country, man. Like up in New York, where my mother lives, there literally are beavers that chop down the trees. Like there, you can see where they chomped on the trees. Here, you go on the lake and you'll just see a little beaver chilling there. You know, it's just a normal thing. I mean, they're kind of cool. I will say though, they're pretty cool. I can definitely get it. I do be playing the college football 25, and the first team I did represent was the Oregon State Beavers. So you know, go Beavers. Um, so I am partial to it. So we can put it at A tier. I'm not going to fight you on it, but just let you
Just look
guys
at
know when
that
I
face,
see
man. Just
when I see a beaver, I'm not gonna be like, oh my god, it's a beaver. It's gonna be like, ah,
one
there's a
brain
beaver.
cell. One brain cell.
Just chomping wood and just laying on its back, dude. They're something, that's for sure.
Your turn, Luke.
Let's okay, so
If you want
the
me to read them out, I can.
capybara. No, the
Capybara
capybara. Throw that throw that thing up in A tier.
in A tier
Um
as well. The two
it's a
marsupials, man, they look similar.
Dude, I just like saying the word capybara. Like it's a fun word. I mean, they're cool looking, man. I guess it's the same thing. Like if I'm not around them, I've only seen capybaras in the freaking zoo here. So like, you know what I mean? No, they're just cool looking things, man. They're fun to say. I've seen a lot of TikToks like of the capybaras, and they're just big. They're just
So I
big.
did
They look
see
like
one in an animal sanctuary in
okay.
Sydney. Fun fact:
Oh
um,
no.
they do their business, not sexual business, rear end business, where they bathe. So these marsupials poo in water.
Okay.
So when they go to wash themselves, they're just bathing in their own crap. They literally the sanctuary had to like close off, so they have pools and they have to close them off because they're just full of crap. When I walked past that enclosure, bro, the smell was so bad.
All right. Okay. For that one, we'll drop it into beer. B. Put it in the B.
Into
You've ruined
me.
you've ruined the capybara for me, man. I'm gonna just start calling the crappy bar.
So I'm gonna pick. Um, how do I pronounce this? It's the it's ECHIDNA.
The
Echidna?
Echinda. Is that what
Echinda?
Knuckles is? That's what Knuckles
I
is.
think
Knuckles from
I'm gonna
Sonic is
put
an
him in A.
Echinda.
He's cool. Like,
Okay.
um, long snout. It just I think porcupines is like a concept of like how did evolution get to porcupines? Like
Bro. I
they're
don't
insane.
know. That they're insane, and like the fact of the matter is that they just like shoot out their they have their own defense mechanism. Like whoever designed the again the hedgehog is just the porcupine is just like, all right, these are cute cuddly. How do we keep them survive? We're gonna give them missiles that they shoot out of their back that hurt. You know, and that's crazy. But yeah, no, I think the Echidna, or I don't even know if I'm saying it right. That is what Knuckles from Sonic is based off. He's
Makes
based off.
sense.
I think he is an Echidna, so that makes sense.
That's cool.
Actually, he's got a long snout too. So yeah, that's pretty cool. All right.
I
Well,
give it
I
a
did
rip,
not know
Luke.
they were. All right. Woof. All right. We gotta throw the Gators up an S. I'm sorry. I know this might be like a over
Iconic.
top. It's they're they are iconic to Florida in the sense like Florida literally when I told my sister that I was going to Florida, this is the only thing she said. I'm so happy for you. Just don't get eaten by an alligator. And that I mean, and that just signifies what Florida is. I've been in Florida. I've seen a couple gators. None like right up close. Tallahassee, there's not so many gators, but they're literally the second you drive, like you cross into the Florida border, there's a sign for Gatorland, and it is literally a
Been there.
freaking shop with just yeah, you've been there, so you've seen it. It's just
Been
a
there.
ton of gators just chilling. And the fact of the matter is, you can there's a meme in Florida, and this is so funny. I thought it was so funny. It's just like if you ever go into a body of water and they say, "Well, is it wet?" And they're like, "Yeah, there's probably a gator in and it's true. It's true. Like they're probably if it's wet, there's a good chance a gator is in there. And people are like, oh my god, is that not scary? And the way I look at it as someone who grew up in the water, like in the ocean with sharks and stuff like that, yes, they're in there. They're not going to bother you unless you bother it, or you're just like, oh, there's a gator. Let me go towards it. No, just avoid them if you see them.
Yeah.
If you see a gator in the water, don't like swim like with the gators. But like if you don't see it, then just keep swimming. It probably is not going to bother you. Um, but yeah, no, they're pretty cool. They
They're
definitely
dinosaurs.
they they're yeah, they're just prehistoric dinosaurs and they're just super cool. And I love the fact that they are like a common pest as well. Like you call animal control when there's a gator in your backyard. Like they come in there, they wrangle up the gator just like they would wrangle up a skunk or something else.
Okay, I'm gonna pick one from Florida this time. I'm gonna go with the Burmese python D tier.
Why?
It just it's not one of the coolest snakes, man. It could be a rattlesnake, could be a cobra. Like, these things, they're just long.
I mean, to be fair, you can get these things as pets. So to be fair, you can buy these at a pet store, and that's totally normal. I shit you not, Jake. I do not fuck with snakes. I don't fuck with snakes. I don't want to see a snake. I will like for people who are scared of spiders and bugs and roaches, like that's me with snakes. If I see a snake, I'm like, I'm not going there. Nope. No, 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 no. You're not gonna catch me. Like they want hold my snake. No, I will not hold your snake. If I saw that, if I was chilling and I saw a python just chilling in a tree, I'd freak out. Yeah, they it can go in D tier. Like I because fuck off. I don't want to see them. If I saw a wild Burmese python that was not around someone's neck and just
I can just picture you like going in and swinging, just going, nah, bro, boom.
I would freak out. I would fight the python and I would scream like a little girl. Get that thing away from me. All right, back to the pick. Throw. Okay, so what did we ever find out the name to that bluebird? What is that? Is
It's a
it just
blue wren, and they are
okay?
native to Margaret River. Margaret River is an area in Western Australia known for its vineyards.
Okay. You know what? I'd throw that thing in C tier. Like it's cool. Like
It
I
looks
look
cool.
at it, I think it's very pretty. But it's just you said it's a wren. We have wrens here. They're just not blue. You know, as a
Fair
bird,
enough.
little Tweety bird.
I am going to throw the bandicoot in B.
Okay,
I mean, it's cute,
I can respect it.
iconic because of Crash,
Mhm.
Bandicoot. Um, don't really see them though. I'm asleep at night. These lot come out at 3 a.m. Like,
Okay.
I've seen one in real life. They're pretty cool. Just like a mouse
Yeah.
though, you know?
Yeah.
Mid tier mouse. Not much
Yeah.
to
No,
say.
it's yeah. Not much to say on that one. I would say like it's crazy. Like thinking about the concept of Crash Bandicoot, and they saw that, and they're like, we are gonna make that a video iconic video game character. We're gonna make him orange. He's gonna wear pants, and he's gonna have his own racing game. And that's crazy. That's what that little fucker is. What the that iconic who, mind you, looks nothing like it at all.
Nope.
Nothing like it.
Or is Crash Bandicoot? No, he is a Bandicoot, right? But I was
He
thinking,
is a band.
what's the? Oh, I'm thinking of the Tasmanian Devil, but
Yes.
that's a different cartoon, right? It's like
That's
that's not a
That's
game, it's a
Looney.
cartoon. Yeah.
It's a cartoon. It's Looney Tunes. So I guess for we're gonna go ahead and throw the blue crab into D tier. Um, Once again, it's a crab. I eat them. Um,
You eat the blue
but
ones?
yeah, you can eat blue crab.
No
hmm
way.
That
They look
yeah,
poisonous.
like they may look they definitely look poisonous, but you can have their meat. I wouldn't recommend it. It's kind of like they're like crawfish in the sense like they got like a little muddy taste to it. I don't know how to describe it, but they just got a little bit of a like a different taste to it. They're bottom feeders, so they kind of sit on the
Yeah.
bottom of it and stuff like that. But it's just a crab. Don't get pinched by one. Those things will take a toe. I will say that. Those things will take your toe. Those things pinch like a motherfucker. Those things will fuck your toes up. So be careful. But D
Fair
tier.
enough. I'm gonna take the flamingo. I'm gonna plonk it in C tier as well. I think
Okay.
it's the same thing, right? Blue ren, blue, pretty cool. Flamingo, pink, pretty cool.
Yeah,
Like
that's fair enough. I will
wild
say they're
concept, standing on one leg all
what?
the time.
Yeah, they are pretty weird. I saw a
Well,
video of a flamingo, like another flamingo pecking the other flamingo's brain.
yeah, they
And I'm
eat
just like,
brains, right?
yeah,
Or they
I don't
bleed.
know. They bleed. So I don't know how to describe the video, but it's trippy, and I've never looked at a flamingo the same way since I've seen that video.
It is
So
wild how they
I,
could turn off one side of their like they're only ever when they're sleeping. It's like they turn off one side of their brain.
I wish I could
That's
do that all
mental. Can you imagine if humans could do that? Just like like we're mid conversation now, and I decide that my left side needs to sleep, and it's just
the time. That's crazy. All right. So the whale shark. Those things are crazy, man. So okay, just for the concept alone, let's throw that bad boy in A tier in the sense of while they are, no, put that thing in S because whale sharks are crazy. Like those things, one are humongous. Two, they don't they're not like they're I don't know why they're called a shark in the sense of only the fact of the matter is they do not come up for air like a whale or a dolphin. Like they are fish. They are not
yeah,
mammals, if I'm
correct.
correct in assuming it. But they're harmless creatures. They're not gonna like people are, oh my god, it's the biggest shark in the world. Well, it is the biggest shark in the world, but it's the concept of it is it's just friendly. It's in the ocean. Like just it's just probably under your feet right now. You don't even know it. But yeah, no,
You won't catch me in the ocean. I'll tell you that for free.
so are they native to Perth? Can you see like are they native to Perth? Like
Uh,
whale sharks?
Technically, yes, in specific seasons. Yeah, we can
Okay.
go out in a boat and you can see whale sharks.
Okay.
There'll be a good chance you see probably a great white at the same time, but
That's wild
no,
to me. That's
get
wild to me.
sharks.
That's crazy.
Uh, I'm gonna put Big Boy Lizard in with D tier. Like
Okay.
he's just a lizard man. He's
Yeah.
big and they're cool, um, but he's not like a bearded dragon. You know,
Nah.
like
He's just a lizard.
he's just a lizard man. I mean, if it was a
Dude,
gecko,
that'd be different.
I've got a soft spot for geckos. I think they're cool.
Yes. And let's go ahead and throw that Puma and the good old you know what? Let's throw that thing in let's throw it in C tier.
C tier.
Yeah, it's not like I said. I was talking to you about if it was a Jaguar, we'd be throwing it in A tier, but it's just a Puma, and
It's just a
Pumas are native.
puma.
They are fair enough. They are very native. You're more likely to see a Puma than you are to see a Jaguar. But the fact that there are Jaguars in Florida to me blow my mind. That I can literally just be walking and there's just a freaking Jaguar just chilling.
I'm
Chill could
lucky
be
that
just
I've never ever seen like a wild cat,
yeah. No,
proper
there.
wild cat, like big wild
I
cat.
have I've only seen the only wildcat I have seen is I did go camping one time and I saw a what looked like to be a big cat. Now it was not a mountain lion. I was pretty sure it was like a bobcat or like a lynx, like something like that. I wasn't like too crazy,
Oh,
but I
they're
was like it was
mental.
very far away. It was very far away. Like it was nowhere near us. It was like across the water. I was just looking through my binoculars. I'm like, I just remember said, all right, put my binoculars down, walked over to my group of friends and said, Just letting you guys know there's a cat over there. Don't know what it is. But let's not walk over there, okay? And
Yeah, let's
that
leave
wa-
it alone.
let's leave it alone. Let's not be stupid. Let's not. I always joke around. I was like, let's not be white and do something crazy. Let's just we'll mind our business and just let them be.
So to wrap up our not so mini game, we ended up with the manatee, the gator, and the whale shark all in S, and I think they're like prime
Yes.
iconic animals. We got the beaver and Knuckles in A, the enchilada.
The enchilada.
uh, B tier, we got a quokka, we got a capybara, and a bandicoot, all
I
little
vote to
marsupials.
I vote to rename the capybara as the crappy-bara because of what you
Capybara, yeah, the shit swimmer.
told me.
um, and then we got the blue wren, the flamingo, and the puma in C tier. And then in D tier, we got the brown bear or the black bear, Burmese python, blue crab, and then like the rocktail lizard.
The
And there we
frickin'
have it. That
lizard.
wraps up
Ah!
ranking native mammals, native animals
Oh my
in
gosh.
Perth and Florida.
It only
I'll
took
have to
us
find
20.
a new tier list to do
Yes, it
next
only
time
took us
round.
20. It only took us 25 minutes to tier about 12 animals. Imagine if we ever had to tier the Pokemon or something else. God bless.
Um, so I suppose we can wrap up. I promised a little funny story.
Yeah.
So just so happened to be yesterday.
Okay.
So I think what got me was Luke messaged me on what will have been your Wednesday night, I believe, and
Okay.
it'll have been on
Yeah.
Thursday for me,
Yeah.
saying like, "We still good to do the podcast?" And I hit back, "Yeah, same time, rock on, let's go." Um, it's Thursday night for me. Bear in mind, I don't know what clicked in my brain. I was like, "Okay, that's tomorrow." Um, I woke up Friday morning at 7 a.m. and I was like, "Yo, it's Saturday." And I'm up at 7 a.m. I'm being so productive. Like, this is insane. I made myself a coffee. I sat down at my desk. I cracked up Vinny's stream. I cracked open Photoshop. I was doing graphics for my new project coming out soon. And I was just sat there chilling. 7 a.m., 8 o'clock, still fine. Look at the clock, like, oh, me and Luke are going to sit and record in about 2 hours' time. Still got loads of time. Crack on. My phone bings, and then it's work going, samples have arrived. Um, who needs to receipt them? I'm like, that's weird. What, like, why have we got samples arriving on a Saturday? I wonder, like, who's on call. And then I look at my phone, bro.
Oh no.
It's Friday. It's Friday. I went cold because I have never shut down my PC quicker in my life. XXXX off, boom, gone. I'm getting like goosebumps now. Like the fear went through me.
Oh my
But this is, I
gosh.
think this is
It's
this
a
is the
norm.
12-hour difference syndrome of
Yeah.
like, because it's Friday for Luke, but Saturday for me.
Hmm.
So when Luke sent that message saying like we good to go, like my brain clicked as like, oh, it's the weekend. I have
Yeah.
never like, it's weird, like a mental mind state of I got up in the
Yeah.
morning, it was early, it was Saturday for me, I was happy as a Larry. The moment I knew I had to go into work, I was tired.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's crazy to think that the way and that it's so weird. And so this is the beautiful thing about it. Like, yes, me and Jake are 12 hours apart. So this is how I have to like do this. So I know when I wake up in the morning, I got about 2 to 3 hours of Jake before Jake has to go to bed before for his work for the next day. Because if it's 7 a.m. my time, it's 7 p.m. his time. So I'm waking up when he's just getting home, doing his dinner and stuff like that. And so yeah, I'm always very careful when I'm like replying to him about what we're doing. I'm like, all right, As I was like, not 10 p.m. my time or EST, just so. And then I was like, that would be 10 a.m. your time the next day.
Honestly, like
um,
if I hadn't got that message from work, luckily I don't start till 10, so I still got there on
yeah,
time. I was like 15 minutes late. Um, but if I
thank
hadn't got
goodness.
that message, I'd have still been sat here. Rach would have woke up, come in, and said like, "What are you still doing here?" And I'd have turned around like, "What do you mean it's Saturday? I'm chilling." And she'd be like, "It's Friday." Then I would have like almost cried. Um, it's the first time it's happened to me in this way round. I've had it before where I've
Okay.
woke up on Saturday morning and thought it was
Mhm.
Friday, and then bolted out of bed like, "Oh my god!" But then you get the relaxing
Yeah,
stage of like, "Okay, right, no, I don't need to be here. Like, I don't need
yeah.
to do anything. It's Saturday."
I've had those. I've never had what you had. No, I've never
Yeah,
like
I've never had it this
not
way, but
realized
I've
I've
had
had to
like
work.
really bad week, like long
Yeah,
days. So like it did
yeah,
it honestly like this week I have been backwards, so backwards.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
Wednesday felt like Friday. For I've had 4 Fridays in a row, which is like,
yeah.
and then when it came to Friday, it was Saturday, but no, it wasn't. It was Friday.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that you had a rough week because last week was rough for me because it was nothing but rain all week long. And it was just like,
Oh, you sent me the video. Oh,
yeah,
here
standing
comes the
like
rain.
literally, it rained Monday of last week till Friday to last week, like every day. Like literally, the only thing I was looking forward to throughout the week was like, all right, I'm gonna record this podcast with Jake. Da 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 da. Is it Friday yet? All right. Oh, still raining. All right. um, but yes, the wonders of living in Florida. But yes, that is a crazy experience, and I'm will forever be just making sure when I reply to Jake. All right, Jake, don't you got work tomorrow, okay?
I don't think it was just you. I think it's like, because like Seb messaged,
Yeah,
like, so like, and he was talking about, oh, do we want to do something this weekend? Like, do we want a
yeah,
game this weekend? So like, there was a string of messages, and like my mum's new partner from back home messaged me saying like, are you watching the football this weekend? Um, so there was a string of messages on Thursday night, which probably ticked
made
my
you.
head into thinking
Yeah,
like it's Friday night.
it's Friday
So it
night.
wasn't just you; it was a coincidence of
Yeah. Yeah, this is just crazy how that stuff happens. So you always have to like wonder, like, all right, well, it was so fun. I just think it's so funny how the human brain works. The way you learn, it's like, yeah, I was just in a great mood. I was watching Vinny's stream, and then I had to go to work, and then I was like, all right,
it was like an
and
instant tiredness. Like I wasn't
yeah,
tired, and then I was tired.
and I was tired. Yeah, it's crazy how the
It's
brain works, man. Humans are we are interesting beings. That's for sure.
we're just all weird. We're just all weird.
We are all
But
weird.
that wraps up episode 2 of
Yeah.
the Dual Hemisphere Hangout.
Woo!
I hope you guys enjoyed. A it's been a more adult podcast, a little bit less fun, more just discussion about moving.
Yeah.
But I feel like for me and Luke, it's a very like um fresh in the mind topic that we talk about a fair whack. So it's been good to elaborate and figure out like, because
But it's
when
also
Luke
very
moved, he went AWOL. He went
it was
AWOL.
I was AWOL for a while, and it's just one of those things where I'm like, I gotta figure things out. I gotta set my computer up. But yes, I like Jake said, man. Like this, yeah, a lot of the topics, man, that we talk, man. Some of them might be boring to people who are not ever going to experience this, or people who will. So whenever you do plan on moving, just turn on this podcast. Remember,
Remember.
remember everything happens for a reason. To be prepared. If you're going to a different country, get ready to be graded. All right, you got to get a 90 or higher to get chosen. Okay, and if you're me, just just wait and plan it out a little bit better. All right, don't do it in a weekend. But it's been great talking to you again, as always, Jake. And let's go ahead and wrap this thing up. Thank you guys again for tuning in. You guys can expect these podcasts. We're going to try to shoot for weekly uploads Sunday around 6 a.m. On YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, pretty much anywhere you guys want to listen. I really would love it if you guys would be able to leave a comment, go onto those audio websites, leave a comment as well. That's how the algorithm gets it on there, so we can get into fresh ears of people who might not know who we are. But honestly, guys, your love and support is always greatly appreciated. And until next time, guys, this is Luke. Have a great one, guys.